What's up, everybody? Welcome back in hour number 2 of the program. We are Sports Take, JAKIB Sports YouTube Network with you on this Thursday. Hope you're doing great out there. All right, so Eagles back at New York, North Jersey this week, whatever you want to call it. Interestingly enough, so they went down there and lost last year 13-7. And it was a game where, despite the fact that he rushed for 77 yards on 8 carries, it was not Jalen Hurts' finest moment in New York. He was 14 for 31, 129 yards, 0 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, and a 17.5 passer rating. Extremely uncharacteristic, the 3 turnovers and the no touchdowns. I don't know. I mean, the way that he's wired, do you think he's even thinking about that game last year there?
No, much different.
I don't either.
Much different quarterback. He was basically a rookie going through the trials and tribulations last year. He wasn't even close to be the complete quarterback that he is right now. He had a rookie in Devonta Smith he was throwing to. He did not have an A.J. Brown at his disposal. He didn't have a defense that was giving them short fields more times than not last year. Completely different scenario compared to what he was just a season ago.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think he's a different player, and I also don't think he lets that kind of stuff seep into his thought process where it could affect him negatively. Yeah, Barrett disagrees.
Yeah, I kind of disagree on that because I know that he thought, man, last time I was up there, I was hurt, number one. Number two, I played terribly up there, and that's the last way that fan base up there saw me. You know what I mean? And then they, we eventually beat him down here. He played in that game, right?
I believe so.
Yeah.
But he, it's. I would use it as a chip. You know what I'm saying? Just like Michael Jordan, he would find little things to piss himself off to go out there and play at a high level. I would use that as a chip. Last time I was up here, I played horribly. I let them affect me. They did this to me. I had 3 picks. I'd be kind of perturbed right now if I was him.
I think his only chip, Barrett, is the fact that we have to keep this thing rolling because we have to secure the number 1 seed. I think that's the biggest chip on his shoulder.
Yeah, that'll be the biggest, but
yeah.
Sometimes you need a little bit of something to get that extra fire, the extra tenacity, that extra oomph to piss you off, Like there'll be days I don't even feel like coming on a show, and then I come on, I have to get that extra oomph to make sure I make you mad in some type of way.
Barrett, you can't make me mad. You can't get to me. I've known you too long. You can't get to me. Let's be honest here. Let's be honest for a moment. I can get under your skin a lot quicker than you can get under my skin.
Absolutely.
And I take pride in that.
Absolutely. You do. You definitely do. You definitely do.
Right now, see, I'm getting under his skin, Rob, because he has to admit it. See, it's like, man, I can't believe I got to agree with D-Gun on this one again. I just can't believe it. Yeah, you're right, D-Gun. Right again, D-Gun.
Yeah, it's never easy. Oh, my God, that's funny. Yeah, but it's going to be interesting. Like, they didn't play well as a team. Now, the question is, everything looks so different. First of all, the Giants are vastly different. New head coach, some different personnel.
Do you hear what Kevin Savard is saying?
What?
He said, not to mention his love for the Dable.
I don't know if he has love for him. I don't know. He did praise him this week, but Dable was on the staff, I think, when he got benched for Tua. Now, again, do I think Jalen's hanging on to that stuff? I don't know, Barrett. You seem to think that every athlete has a little bit of that there.
Human, man. He's human, man. I mean, even though it seems like he's a machine, you want to sometimes say, "I told you so." You want to sometimes say, "Look, I had to redeem myself. I had to vindicate myself. I had to go out there and make sure, what you saw up there wasn't who I was and who I am. Let me show you. Let me give you what you come to see now." You know what I'm saying? He wants an out-of-eye moment.
Yeah. Well, look, that could be the case. And he certainly would be poised to do it here in this game. Eagles are 7-point favorites in the game for what it's worth against the Giants. All right. So let me ask you guys this. How are you game planning this thing, Barrett? I'll start with you on this. In particular, let's go with the Eagles defense. we know what Saquon Barkley, what percentage of their offense he is, both running and catching the ball. We also know they don't present a real scary core with their receivers for sure. So what are you doing? How are you game planning this one against the Giants if you are Jonathan Gannon?
You don't necessarily do the same thing you did against King Henry. I think you do more so what you did against Green Bay. Understanding that Jones was more than just a guy that ran in between the tackles. He was more than a running back. He was a guy that knows how to catch out the backfield, and we know that A-Rod loves to throw to him. So we had to approach that defense in a different capacity because we knew that we had to cover him, and we knew we had to account for his whereabouts on the field. Kind of the same thing with Saquon. They have to account for wherever he goes. Wherever he goes, the ball is going. Mm-hmm. So kind of the same defense that you had there. You got to have this, you're going to play a lot of that 50 front, that odd front where you cover the center and both guards up. You'll still do that so you don't run in between the tackles, but you're going to bring the extra defender in the box also. Not just for stopping the run, but more so making sure that you have an athlete that's a safety on Saquon Barkley, somebody that can run with Saquon as opposed to a linebacker who may not be able to run with him. Like, you don't want TJ Edwards lined up one-on-one with Saquon Barkley. You want a guy that can run with him, maybe even high-low him, bracket him, coverage him a little bit.
Now, who would you said obviously, who would it be for you? Who are you utilizing there?
At the most, Epps.
Okay.
Have Epps around him.
Yep.
Either Epps or Kazir White.
Mm. Yeah, and Kazir White can run. I mean, he can run well enough that he could handle that kind of duty.
See, the only difference between the Giants and the Titans is this: you have a quarterback that can bust you for 100 yards running the ball. I'm more fearful of Daniel Jones running the ball than I am him throwing the ball, because if you control Saquon, they don't have the receiving core to do a lot of damage against this team. I mean, think about it. There's a bunch of no names up there catching passes for him. The tight end, I'm not worried about the tight end position that much.
He's a rookie.
Yeah. He's a rookie. I'm not worried about it. If you control Saquon, if you can put Epps on him out in the passing game, have him shadow him, whenever he starts going in motion, you can go man up against the receivers
and
have a good measure of success.
Seals is pretty good, man. Seals is showing the capacity to get loose, man.
Was it David Seals?
David Seals, yeah.
Yeah, he is. But what are his overall numbers? What are his overall numbers right now?
Yeah, they're not great. He's only played, let's say, like 9 games, maybe. I was looking. Let me see if I might be wrong on that. I was looking at their numbers earlier. 9 games. 11 catches, 106 yards. The guys you worry about are Slayton, Richie James if they're healthy.
Yep.
There's not a lot to worry about, honestly. They're just not that good.
The only thing I worry about, Rob, is Brian Daboll's ability to come up with gadget plays and catch defenses off guard.
Yeah.
He is very good at that. I've seen 4 Giants games this year. He is very good at coming up. And some of those gadget plays are the reasons why they won certain games that they won.
Yeah.
He is very good at coming up with plays of deception, as he did in Buffalo. And he carried that over to New York with lesser talent and still was able to make these things work.
Yeah, he's obviously they have 2 guys. If you're looking at he brought over what does he have there? Does he have Kafka there?
Yes, Kafka is his offensive coordinator.
Yeah, so he has Kafka. That's 2 good minds. Kafka obviously learned at the feet of Andy, and he's got Dable, and you have Dable. And then the other side, you have Wink Martindale. That's what I mean. Like, this is a well-coached team. They can compensate for some of these shortcomings that they have.
And they have up to this point. Yeah.
And just to stay on the offense, the thing is, even beyond last year, you guys remember this. Daniel Jones typically hurts the Eagles with his legs. You remember the year he ripped off that big one, the turf monster got him, or he went to the house?
Yeah.
He would have went 80-something yards or whatever it was. So he's hurt them. So you can't just overlook them, even though on paper you're kind of like, I don't know. I am too. I'm like, there's not much here.
Well, you look at the last 5 games, then you have to ask the question: have the laws of averages finally caught up to him?
Yeah.
I mean, 1-3-1 in the last 5 is a telling tale also.
Well, look at Saquon's game log.
Yep.
Derek, he's gone 63 yards, 39 yards, 22 yards.
Yep.
He's averaged 1.5, 3.5, 3.5 on the ground the last 3 games against Washington, Dallas, and Detroit.
So you control Saquon, and you control that offense is basically what we're saying here. And the Eagles have Eagles have more than enough personnel. You look at his numbers against the last three opponents, the Eagles' personnel on defense by far is much better than his previous three opponents.
Mm-hmm.
If Jonathan Gannon is smart, emulate some of the things that the other teams have done, you control their offense, plain and simple.
Yep.
You know, Saquon is their offense. Saquon opens up a lot of things. If he gets going, now you've got to commit more people to the box, which might get you in certain one-on-one situations. But Daniel Jones is, to me, still is not that passer. He's not that passer. I'm worried about putting up 40, 45 passes a game and kill you. He's not that accurate. He's not.
Right. No, he's not.
He's not at all. You know, he's a functional quarterback in the NFL. You know?
He is.
He's not going to blow you away with stats.
No.
But he has a means in which he can make you pay.
Absolutely.
If you take him lightly. That's what it is. If you take him lightly, think, oh, this is just Daniel Jones, that's when he lights you up. But if you go in with a serious attitude, like, all right, this kid can run, number one, you got to keep him in the pocket. You got to rush him accordingly. You got to make sure you account for his ability to run. Keep him in a position where he has to pass the ball. Your DBs are good enough on the outside. You don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
You can cover those guys. You know, Richie James does not scare me.
No,
at all.
No.
Darius Slayton is good.
Yes.
But he's not one of the top wide receivers in the league. It's not like we're looking at him like we looked at Justin Jefferson.
No, in the past, he's been an Eagles killer, but he played Eagles teams that didn't have the kind of personnel they have now.
Absolutely.
You know?
When you're playing against, Rasul Douglas's, he can get by those guys. But he's not getting past our guys.
Let's go to the other side. A lot of injuries they're dealing with. Adoree Jackson.
Yep.
Leonard Williams.
Huge.
These are you talking
Renee Holmes.
Yeah. Major pieces, right? Who, a couple of them we don't status up in the air right now, but their defense and they're led by a good coordinator in Wink Martindale, but they have some players on that side of the ball. So offensively, how are you going at them, Barrett?
You got to run right at them. Right now, their best defensive lineman is Dexter Lawrence. Although they got their pass rushers back, wasn't there Ojulari?
Yes,
Azeez Ojulari.
Yeah,
he's good, but I don't think that he's going to be able to out physical the guys we have. I think our tackles will have good days against both pass rushers, both Kayvon Thibodeau and Ojulari. I think we'll bowl well against them. We got to run it up the middle, and this is where you're gonna get good dose of Dexter Lawrence one-on-one with our guards. Can they hold up? I like our chances, but he's a load, man. The former guy from he went to Clemson, former first rounder. He's shown to be the best defensive lineman right now. But we have to run the ball on running between the tackles. You don't want to Wink calling up blitzes against passing situations. That's what he does best.
Yes,
blitzing.
He's aggressive.
So we want to run the ball consistently, bid it third and manageable, 3rd and 2, 3rd and 1, to have the time to run the ball and have to also play against the run when they play us.
He's going to make Jalen Hurts make quicker decisions with the ball.
Absolutely.
He's going to make, and Barrett's right, if you can get him in 3rd and short, even in 3rd and 5 situations, 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7, he's bringing people from somewhere.
Absolutely.
Somehow, somewhere, he's bringing people. And even if they don't get the sack, they're going to force Jalen to get the ball out of his hands or make Jalen make a decision a lot quicker. You look at some of the great throws that Jalen made, deep balls in particular, it's because the line held up and let Jalen stand back there and pat the ball a few seconds before he unloaded a strike to these guys.
Yeah.
Wink Martindale's not going to let Jalen Hurts just sit back in the pocket. It's just not his MO.
I think one of the things that wasn't talked about enough from last week's game and going back and watching it is how clean Jalen was a lot. I mean,
against Tennessee.
God.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, I mean, big time.
Barrett could have thrown a deep ball in that pocket.
Why it's even more interesting is, we went into the game talking about how the pass blocking from the O-line was
huge,
struggling a little bit.
Yeah.
That's the most remarkable thing about last week's win is the 3 areas that we really went in saying, I don't know, we're all like crushed it. Pass blocking really well, run defense really well, special teams played really well. I mean, all the above. And that's what a good team does. They work on their weaknesses and get better each week.
I would throw also in overall physicality.
Yeah.
Everybody talked about Tennessee's physicality, and the Eagles matched it from start to finish. That was big also.
It was the big thing, man, is you're right, physicality. You know, going out there, not matching their physicalness, but going over and overwhelming them and being more physical than they were. It caught them off guard in all actuality. They were like, damn, these cats coming off the rock. You know, we're going to stop you from running the rock. We're going to try to stop you from running the rock, but we can't do it. You know, they tried to stop us from running the rock. They kept that extra guy in.
Right.
But when we wanted to, we ran it. But we were like, well, why should we run it? Why should we bump ahead against? Well, we can just throw the ball down the field all day.
Mm-hmm.
You know, your pass rushers can't beat us. You know what I mean? I was surprised and shocked how good our tackles held up against their rush ends.
Yeah, I'm just checking my notes here. So,
Bud Dupree. He was canceled.
Bud, you didn't hear his name, right?
Nope. He was canceled.
That's interesting. But I'm trying, going in, I'm just looking at what to attack here, regarding the Giants defense. So defensively, not bad. I mean, they're 12th in points allowed, which is pretty good. They give up 21 per game, but they're awful against the run. Is the Giants defense? They're 26th, and they're 18th against the pass. So you should be able to pound it on them.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, just like Stream is saying, you just run it at Thibodeau. Thibodeau's little.
He's little, and he just wants to get upfield.
Right.
He wants to just get sacks, and he's athletic as hell. But I mean, that's what he wants to do.
Ojulari wants to do the same thing. He wants to get upfield. He wants to generate pressure. You run at those guys, or run draw plays, run screens, take advantage of their want to get up the field, throw in behind them, or run in behind them. This should be a big game. A big running game for us, a big rushing game for us. We should dominate the line of scrimmage and push them around. They're bro, just like he said, Jalen Smith is at linebacker.
That's wild. Yeah, we talked to Jordan Reynon yesterday, who gave us some good insights on the Giants. If you want to check it out, go to jakibsports.com, JAKIB Sports YouTube Network. We had him on yesterday around 1:30. Well, let me ask you guys this. We've talked about the playoff picture. We know the Eagles have a bye. We know Seattle would play Minnesota right now. The Giants would play San Francisco right now, and Dallas would play Tampa right now. For you guys, who's the biggest threat here? Who scares you the most? Barrett, you usually when Derek and I talk about San Fran, you lose your mind. So
I'll let Barrett go first.
I'll give you first crack of who scares you the most here.
Not really scared with Dallas, just because they can rush the passer. And you get in and you let them go out there and score on you and put you in a position where you have to go match point for point with them. Dallas can creep up on you, and next thing you know, the game has gotten away from you. They can rush the passer, and it looks like they're just rushing like 15 people, but they're only rushing 5 because they slant and move their line so well, run stunts so well that's why they're a very good defense. Their defensive line can rush the passer. If you just blow them off the ball, you'll be fine. You'll have a great game against them. You'll make them start yelling at themselves. All you got to do is get up on them. They'll implode. They'll start, yelling at each other. They'll stick the stake in them themselves. But you got to get them to that point. So Dallas, the only team that I say that I would, think about having a legitimate shot of competing with.
How about you, Derek?
You already know who I'm going to say. You already know.
San Fran.
Absolutely. Their defense has only given up 1 touchdown in the last 4 games in the second half. They're one of the few teams in the league that can consistently get pressure on the quarterback with the 4 men up front. We understand they got a farmhand named Purdy, quarterback of the team right now. He functioned well in an emergency situation against a pretty good team. Now they played a pretty good defense in Miami's defense. Now they're going to play an even better defense against Tampa Bay, okay? Now, Tampa Bay's offense has let them down, but the defense has finally gotten healthy, and they held they played a pretty tough game. They're pretty tough. So I want to see what he can do against Tampa Bay's defense. And then the next game, they got to play Seattle. So those 2 games, Seattle can put up points on you in a minute. Tampa Bay's defense is a real good defense. Can he win a shootout? Can he survive against a stout defense? Those are two big question marks over a span of 8 days.
Yeah.
So I'm still going to say San Francisco right now because of the style of football they play. They don't score a lot of points, but they don't let you score a lot of points as well.
All right. I think it's an interesting debate, and I think the Jimmy G injury really could potentially change things, and we'll get into this with our NFC power rankings in a little bit. I would have to, if you're forcing me to say one or the other, and I'm forcing myself here, but I would probably go Dallas 1, San Fran 2, and it's really close. I just don't know, for all the reasons you just laid out, Derek, that Brock Purdy in a big spot in a playoff game,
right,
is going to play the way he played when he came in there against Miami in a regular season game.
I agree.
As good as their defense is, at some point you're putting pressure on your. He could potentially put a lot of pressure on his defense if they're not scoring anything. So that part of it's going to be interesting to me, is just to see how he progresses here and how much better he gets as time goes on, or if teams now, having some tape on him from college and in that game, how they attack him and what he looks like. But Dallas is pretty healthy, for the most part right now.
Well, they lost.
Other than Anthony Brown.
Brown.
Other than Anthony Brown.
The thing that's interesting about Dallas is Dallas can go in a feeding frenzy at a given moment with things. Yeah. Minnesota and Indianapolis. Okay, you look at how this Eagles team fought tooth and nail to beat Indianapolis. Dallas went on a feeding frenzy against Indianapolis. Dallas went on a feeding frenzy in Minnesota. They held Minnesota to no touchdowns. Nobody has done that to Minnesota, even though the Eagles smoked them. Nobody has done that to Minnesota the entire season, and you did it in Minnesota's backyard. But Dallas also defensively is undisciplined. When things are going bad is when they step out of character. Mm-hmm. They're not real disciplined defense. They're lightning fast defense. I still say they are the fastest defense in the NFL. I think Miami would be considered second.
Yeah.
They are the fastest defense in the NFL up front. But they also are undisciplined at times. And when things are going bad, you see them step out of character.
Yep.
So that's where I think if you can get Dallas in your backyard and get on top of them early, they start to unravel.
Yeah. And I think that's where you start to think about, is the moment going to get to Mike McCarthy? Is the moment going to get to Dak? Because we've seen the moment get to those guys before. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know how Purdy is going to respond in those kind of settings. And then there's other teams to look at. There's Minnesota, which we've talked about a lot on the show. There's other teams that would be in consideration.
I ain't buying Minnesota.
Well, I hear you. There's still Tampa. There's still Brady. There's still a defense. It's pretty good there. There's a skeleton. There's bones of something there in Tampa. I don't know exactly what it looks like here, but you got Seattle. You got the Giants. I don't know if anybody else busts into the party, so to speak here, from an NFC perspective. I mean, the other teams that are on the outside looking in right now are Washington, Detroit, Atlanta. By the way, Atlanta named Desmond Ridder the starter. They benched Mariota.
Yeah.
What that's worth. But so that's, just the other teams that are there that could creep in that you could maybe face if they pulled off some upsets early.
See, when I look at that 49ers defense, it's like when you have a dog, and if you're playing with a dog, dogs like to play toys and they want you to play tug of war with you, or if they have something in their mouths and you're trying to get it out, it takes you forever to get it out of their mouth because they ain't letting go. To me, 49ers are that kind of defense. They like to clamp down on people. They like to win ugly. Mm-hmm. They're not a team that just wows you with 35, 38 points a game. They can play. They're an even keel team.
Right.
DeMeco Ryans has a very even keel defense. They play the same way no matter what. They step to the line of scrimmage and they tell you, beat us at what we do. Okay. They all they want to do is contain you, keep everything in front, and they're physical as well. Offensively, the biggest question mark is, can Farmhand Purdy can he keep his knees from rattling like Elvis said?
He's from Arizona, right?
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
But can you keep Purdy's knees in the lines of an Elvis Presley song from Shake, Rattle, and Rollin'? Can you keep his knees in a big moment from Shake, Rattle, and Rollin'? We don't know. That's impossible to answer right now.
We don't know.
We'll beat them up front, man.
Maybe.
There's no maybe to it, man.
I don't disagree.
Barrett's favorite tackle, McGlinchey.
Yeah, we'll beat them. It'll be over.
I had to tee him up for that.
it'll be over on him, man. We'll have 3 sacks against him. They be trying to take turns. They be pushing each other over, trying to get over to his side. They don't want to go over the other side, though. It's all heat on that other side.
You don't want any parts of the left side. You don't want to be on the deal with the left side of that offense.
Yeah, you don't want any parts of Williams over there, man. But everybody else, man, you could. And then you look on defense, man. Everybody's talking about how good they are. Bosa against our tackles, he'll win some, we'll lose some. We'll win the most, the majority of them will win.
I'll put it like this. Right now, the way Mailata's playing, I'd put Bosa on Mailata's side all day.
He's gotten better, though.
Okay, we'll see.
Yeah,
he's gotten a lot better. And then these talk about these linebackers. Yeah, Fred Warner and Greenlaw are really good linebackers, but I will put Kelsey and the rest of them guys up front on them linebackers all day, and we will punish them. Punish them.
Yeah.
That's what we specialize in.
Mm-hmm.
True.
Getting to the second level and beating up on linebackers. We would
great
punish them.
Yeah. That's where you really see the athleticism.
The only person I really fear on that team, I have to say, is that tight end, man. Kittle is the real deal.
Hold up. I fear Debo more than I fear Kittle.
No.
I fear them both.
You know why? Because that's true. But see, Kittle, you know where he's going to be. It's just that you need 8 men to tackle that dude.
Yeah.
Debo, I love how they move him around. And the thing is, he doesn't need that big of a seam to make you pay. This dude's got a third gear, not a second gear. He's got a third gear that's crazy.
He's going to run it. He'll run it more in the playoffs.
Yeah.
He's not fast.
What?
He's not fast. No, he's not fast.
He's quick. Fast. He's quick fast. He's not fast.
He's strong.
He gets up to speed really fast. That's what.
Yes.
But he's not like running away from anybody. He's not doing that. He's just quick more so than anything. And then I in saying that, I challenge. Tell me one DB that they have on their team that strikes fear in you. Jimmy Ward. No,
Jimmy Ward's pretty good.
Jimmy Ward's pretty good, but it's the front set. It's the concept of D'Amico's front seven that's the big problem. There have been good teams where the front seven can hide the deficiencies on the back end. I think they do a very good job of hiding the deficiencies on the back end. You look at the numbers across the board, what they've done against opponents. The only opponent that really blew them out early in the season was Kansas City. Kansas City put up 44 points on them.
And then I'll say this.
Look at how they've played since then.
You know what the thing that just all the way takes all that away? Our running attack. When we hit them in the mouth.
That's true.
Yeah.
You hit them in the mouth, all that running around, being fast. No, you be physical with them and go out there and punch them in the mouth. It all that be null and void.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? When you can't pass rush, you get hit in the mouth, you get frustrated. You start getting out of character. You start doing things that you don't necessarily do. That's exactly what happened against Dallas when we played them. That's what happens against everybody when you play against this offensive line. That's the big thing that nobody really talks about when we're talking about these defensive fronts. Dallas this, it looks like got 1,000 people come from a down direction. We just played against Dallas, and we said in all them directions they was coming in, we was hitting them in the mouth right there. We won.
Okay, who do you say has a better front seven? Now I said front seven. 49ers or Washington?
Washington.
Front seven?
Washington.
Whose linebackers are better?
They have one when you look at their linebackers, Fred Warner's better than Greenlaw. Fred Warner.
I think Fred Warner's the best inside linebacker in the game right now.
He's got 83 tackles. Greenlaw has 88. Those two are
monsters.
TJ Edwards has 105. Okay.
Warner has 10 pass defense. He's a versatile guy.
Okay, then let's go. If you look at the Washington, their front four is the best front four in the league. In the league, bar none. In the league, Sweat and Chase.
Chase who?
Chase Young.
Chase Young.
He hasn't played this year.
He's playing now?
Okay. He hasn't played this year. They were doing this before Chase Young.
Yeah, Allen and Payne are as nasty inside as he gets.
I think Washington's success against the run is predicated on the 2 D tackles.
Exactly.
Montez Sweat is good, but I don't think he's great.
Montez Sweat is better than who they have rushing their.
You think he's better than Nick Bosa?
No.
Okay, so that's a wash there. Now 2 for 1. I give Dallas no question. I give Washington the edge in the D tackle department.
Not an edge, the side advantage. Like
yes,
Armstead and Gibbons don't have a shot. You have 2 Pro Bowlers in there. You got Nick Bosa on that defensive line. That's it. Nick Bosa. That's it. You got Payne, Allen, and Sweat, and now you have Young. Come on, man.
Who has the better coordinator?
Well, I will say this to back up Barrett's point. After Bosa, which is 14.5, it's a lot. You drop off a cliff. You got 3.5 from Ibukam. You got 4 from I got the old name team here.
Right.
Omahanu. But there's a big fall off after that.
Absolutely. That's what I'm saying. Everybody's scared of him. You're scared of Nick Bosa. You're scared of Greenlaw.
I ain't say scared of nobody. I ain't say afraid of nobody. I said, who has the better scheme concept? There's nobody in the league has a better scheme concept. The Eagles are a close second. Well, not in terms of results. Let's put it like this. Not in terms of results. The 49ers are the best of the best right now. And I don't disagree with you.
They don't do anything different. They just line up and play.
Yes, I don't disagree with you.
The better coordinator, in all actuality, is Washington.
You better than DeMeco Ryans?
Absolutely.
I don't agree with that. I'm not about to agree
absolutely.
with that. I am not agreeing with that. No way, shape, or form. I agree with that.
Bro, I'm telling you, he's still young. He's still wet behind the ears, man.
Who?
DeMeco.
And look at his results. Look at the results he has.
Bro, look at the linebackers that he has. Look at the one that rush in he has. It's just those two. And I will say this. There's safety. I don't say his name. Hufanga.
I can't even
Hufanga is the second coming of Troy Polamalu. He's the second coming.
Barrett,
I want him to be good just so we have to say his name. Right. That's why I want him to. No other reason.
In a day and age, in a game where bad offenses accidentally average 300 yards a game, okay, 49ers give up 283 a game, 75
Who's ranked
points.
Higher? Who's ranked higher right now, Washington or 49ers?
49ers.
They're ranked higher right now.
Yes, they're the number 1 defense in the league. They give up 15 points a game. They stress people. I'm not saying they're the end all to be all because every team has a flaw. I'm just saying in terms of orchestrating a defense, putting players in strategic positions, nobody's better in the league than the 49ers at what they do.
Yeah.
Let me see.
They give up, like, put in perspective, they give up 15.8 points per game.
Yes.
Eagles are really good. They give up 18 points.
Yes, Eagles are excellent. Yes, yeah. I agree. There's no question about it. But we're talking about Washington compared to the 49ers. Right. How did Washington twice have success in terms of defending the run? And it starts with those 2 Pro Bowl tackles, no question about it. But when you look at overall, the coordinator, personnel overall, how it's utilized consistently, there's nobody in the league right now based on the stats better than the 49ers.
Yeah.
There's nobody.
Yeah.
And that's all I'm saying. I'm not disagreeing with Barrett one iota. I'm just saying in terms of concept, consistent concept, they do the same thing every week. It reminds me of that Tampa Bay defense from 2 years ago. Tampa Bay defense never stepped out of character. Nobody could. If you beat Tampa Bay, you earned everything you got against that Tampa Bay defense.
Absolutely.
If you beat the 49ers defensively, you're going to earn everything you get. They ain't giving you nothing. Do they have the best personnel across the board? No. And I'll sit here and agree with Barrett all day in terms of man for man. When you talk Washington, overall, I give them the edge on the D tackle. I cannot give them the edge on the linebacking play. And I think the secondary is a wash. I think both of them have flaws in the secondary. But the 49ers are much better in their front 7 in terms of consistency than Washington is. And I think
I'll give you that. I'll give you that. I'll give you that.
I think DeMeco Ryans is a much better coordinator than Washington's coordinator. And I love Jack Del Rio. Jack Del Rio has the experience. But DeMeco Ryans.
I was just saying that because experience, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But DeMeco Ryans learned his lesson well from Robert Saleh. There's no question about it. Because they're playing exactly how Robert Saleh defense played. And that's the only thing I'm saying.
Well said. Yeah, well said. All right, good debate. I like it, man. I like it. I love it, man. Come on.
My shoulder hurting.
Come on. Hydrate,
I
stretch.
wish we could do this every day.
We do it every day.
Not like this, though. This is good stuff. Not like, stop trying to be politically correct, Rob.
All right, why don't we come back and we'll hit a bunch of different things. We'll stay with the Eagles, and we'll also dig in on what's going on around Philadelphia sports. But also, we come back at 2:00. We will get into the entire NFL picture. Two things we're going to do: NFC power rankings, which may come into play with some of the discussions we had here, non-quarterback MVP conversation. So we're going to exclude the pretty boys who play quarterback. We're going to take them out of it. We're going to get the other guys, give them a little love.
It ended up being a lot harder than I thought it was going to be.
I know, right?
I know.
It is interesting, though. I like it. I'd like to be able to mix some defense, I have defense, running backs, receivers. Everybody's in there.
Right.
I have 2 offensive players, 2 defensive players.
Good.
Yeah.
I like it. All right, let's hit it. We'll come back and we will dig a little bit more into all of those subjects. Don't go anywhere. Derek Gunn, Barrett Brooks, Rob Ellis. We are Sports Take, JAKIB Sports YouTube Network. All right, I want to tell you about Flynn Tree Services. Yes, Flynn Tree Services is an experienced, licensed, and insured Pennsylvania tree services company that will trim or remove any unwanted trees off of your property. They offer cost-effective solutions to any tree problem that you may face. So ask yourself the question, do you have any issues with your yard, your property, your front, your back, whatever? You say, you know what, this might be a problem. Well, if you do, they're just a quick phone call away. And they're experts at trimming all types of trees, and they serve southeastern Pennsylvania, South Jersey, and northern Delaware. They specialize in tree removal, stump grinding, and tree pruning. So you have a lot of different options here. Now, keep in mind also, we have the storm season upon us, hurricane season, a lot of heavy winds. It's a great time to get those trees evaluated. You go to their Facebook or Instagram page for more information or a sampling of their work. Give Flynn Tree Services a call at 610-850-2848. That's 610-850-2848 or online at flynntreeservices.com. That's flynntreeservices.com.
Go for the beers